So the New York Post is calling this the doxing truck. And I find it very interesting that not necessarily the same truck, but the same tactic was used against right wingers a couple of years ago. I think it was used against people who weren't in line with BLM back during the protests. I'm not sure it was in the United States, but I remember a similar truck being used with people who are anti-vaxxers or anti-mandates. So it has been used in the past. Like, it's a very tried and true tactic. And for some reason, a lot of left-leaning activists didn't have anything to say about it. So if they didn't disagree with the tactic, why are they being Pikachu face now? It's like, it's a tactic that you guys have agreed with, and now it's being used against you for things that you disagree with. So they're now showing the photos of students who blamed Israel for Hamas attack. Obviously that this is an intimidation tactic, right? In a country that was to value free speech, you wouldn't do something like this. And by the way, the reason that I'm even calling it out is because I disagree with the tactic. Like, I don't think it should be used against right-wingers. I don't think it should be used against people on the left. But since we are using it, like, since these are the patch notes, I can't be surprised to see people playing by the meta. It is very fascinating, isn't it? This is what it means to have principles. If you don't like it being done to you, then don't do it to others. Don't advocate what is done to others. Don't justify it when it's done to others. But again, like, I don't think that this is a tactic that I can make go away. I don't think that a society that values free speech should have this tactic. And what is interesting is that most people can't separate the current conflict from the tactic. It's like, the reason that I'm saying that it's not a good idea to use it is that, sure, you know, like, maybe in this situation, I also agree that these students, and in this situation, I also don't agree with these students. Like, I have nothing in common with them. I am willing to bet that if we were to talk about politics, I wouldn't have a single thing in common with these Harvard students. However, I'm thinking, like, would I like my face plastered on a truck? The answer is no. So therefore, they shouldn't have their face plastered on a truck either, right? Like, that's how I'm thinking. But again, we don't live in my world. We don't live in my perfect society, my perfect utopia where people would just be able to utter the things that they're thinking in public, right? So, okay, well, if we don't live in my society, then these are the patch notes that have been given to us, that have been decided to us by people in universities, by the way. Like, they're the ones that came up with the concept, no platform for fascists. Do you guys remember that? I remember it was back in 2014. Like, no platform for bigots, no platform for fascists. So we don't have debates anymore. We don't have discussions. All we do is we have the correct line of thinking. Like, this is how decent people act in our society. Anyone that deviates, no platform for them, ostracize them from everywhere, including video games environments, you know, like comic book environments, all sorts of fandoms, universities, job application, everything, right? Just eliminate them from society. This was done during third wave feminism with, like, no platform for bigots. It was, yeah, no platform for bigots first. Then it was like no platform for rape apologists, no platform for fascists. And it was done in a way that if you disagreed with the activist on any issue whatsoever, well, you're part of the outgroup. So, like, for example, the mattress saga girl, right? Like, or the Rolling Stone article, which was attacking an entire fraternity. Or the Kavanaugh hearings. Like, if you didn't believe that Kavanaugh was a rapist, then you were a rape apologist. And therefore, you get no platform. I mean, this is how they operated. And now, like, you expect me to care when literally the same well, not necessarily like the same individuals, but like the same institution responsible for creating this environment is now turning against the activists? No. It is a doxing truck, which apparently is driving around the campus of Harvard with billboards that display the names and photos of students who allegedly signed the letter blaming Israel for Hamas violent attacks. And the giant video screens hung on the sides and back of the truck displayed the words Harvard's leading anti-Semites in Gothic script over a slideshow of Ivy League's headshot and name in the bold red block letters. Nonprofit news watchdog Accuracy in Media was behind the truck, which showed the students involved in the 34 groups that signed the letter on Saturday. Now here's what's interesting. Like, why are they upset is what I don't get. Like you signed the letter specifically to show your name. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like you go up there, like, why would you sign a letter for anything, right? Like, you sign a letter because you want your name to be public, associated with a line of thinking. So why are you upset on the doxing truck? Because this is something that I don't understand. Like the thing when it was used in the past against right-wingers, they didn't sign a letter. Like, they weren't anything. Like, they usually, like, voiced an opinion on Twitter, or they were caught, you know, like, having negative views, or they made a joke, or something like that, right? But in this case, like, they literally signed the letter. Like, they wanted their name, their brand, associated with this line of thinking. Like, if anything, they're just giving you a megaphone at this point. This is why I usually don't sign letters. It's, But the thing is, right, like, why would you sign a letter? Because you want a standing ovation, that's why, right? Like this culture where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to virtue signal. Like, I need other people around me to know my political takes so that I can get a standing ovation. This is actually something that I discussed on my other channel. Like, what is the difference between a social justice activist and a left-leaning person? And the left-leaning person says Nazis are bad, while the social justice activist wants a standing ovation for saying the same stuff. Right? So they want, like, public recognition. They want on their resume to be viewed that, look, they're for social justice. This is how much they care. So apparently, the truck's surprise appearance around campus on Wednesday was the first of a multi-day prolonged campaign involving multiple billboards. And the group deployed the truck because it's incredibly important to know who the hateful anti-Semites are in our society. And it's important for people to know that their actions have consequences. Like, literally word for word from left-leaning ideology, is it not? Our mobile billboards will be at Harvard for the foreseeable future, he said, noting that accuracy in our media never violates any laws. The vehicles also displayed the website, which leads to a forum that encourages users to send an email to members at the Harvard Board of Trustees. I will say something else, right? Like, all these universities that constantly teach stuff like white privilege is evil. We need to decolonize. I mean, they even have, like, colonial studies, so they need to decolonize the West. Capitalism is bad. Free speech is bad. Like, when you have, like, all these stakes, why are they so surprised when people are going to start supporting Palestine? Because that's not a capitalist society. That is part of, like, what the university teaches with decolonialism. Like all that stuff. Like, some students are going to internalize this shit. I know it's surprising, but they're going to internalize the shit. And then they're going to come out with takes like this. So yeah, when you have, like, Harvard hates Jews, I do believe it. Unironically, it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, Netanyahu, right? When these students look at Netanyahu, do they not see a person with white privilege? What do you think? Like, how do you get to have hateful students at the university? What is the other procedure? How do you explain it? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.